Oh, so where's Sam?
I
I didn't know.
thought. Oh, damn it, guys! Come on.
This is a
The
very
canary
professional
flew, I guess.
podcast.
All right, never
Yeah.
mind. I guess Sam didn't want to come on with his bright yellow Jonas Cespedes jacket that he's rocking today. So welcome.
I
as
was
all of us
bullied. I was bullied.
oh, you were bullied? Oh,
Bullied.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, welcome everyone to another Rip Roaring edition of the Let's Go Devils podcast.
Rip roaring.
Brought to
Yeah,
you
Rip
by,
Roaring
as
on
Sam
your
likes to
page.
say it, and Crew Brew. Making winning memories, one crew at a time. And Crew Brew.
you got to get the
And
Vinny
you could-
Parisi. You got to get the Vinny Parisi F1 racer sounds.
If you want to join our crew, you can use the old QR code there in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or wherever you might be.
MySpace,
MySpace, Friendster.
Napster.
If not, you can just go to joinourcrew.com and you can sign up for all the latest installments of the wacky, wild trials and tribulations of the Let's Go Devils podcast.
God,
And
this has been
and affiliates.
Yes.
what a thrilling open. We go
There you
from
go.
Sam dead silence to Scotty's. If you want to join, go ahead. It doesn't matter to me, kind of thing. If you want to be a part of the crew or not, who cares? I don't. You don't. Boys, we should be happy we beat the Lightning finally this year. So
I know.
it took us going into overtime, but hey, what the hell? You know what? We beat those guys. So it was a really nice game. I know Scotty and Sam had a nice breakdown of the game afterwards. Occasionally I get a chance to partake and listen to these podcasts that my fellow compadres do. But I have to tell you, going off of the title of our show today, of Marky Mark and saving the bunch, boy, ain't that the truth.
Oh,
He's
boy.
been even in those
Oh,
four
boy.
games, even in those 4 games that they lost, he has been playing on a different level. And it's unfortunate that he's had to make some out of this world Brodeur-esque type saves to keep the team in the game, like the one he had against Braden Point in that Tampa game last night. But thank the good Lord, we finally have a goaltender that can do all these things. Because by God, if this was the old Vitek Vanacek show, it would be one heck of a disappointing effort because we'd be down by a lot more than what you see. Markstrom has been amazing. And that's what I got to say, boys.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been,
Well, maybe, I don't want to get on VTech too much. He just had too much of the hibachi the night before or something like that. It's okay. But Jacob Markstrom, there were a lot of haters out there. I believe one in a group chat, Mr. William Dean, what did he say? I can't remember what term he used to refer to Jacob Markstrom and Jake Allen. But how the tables have turned. And now things are looking a little different. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's he? I can't remember. What's his record in the last 10? It's or
good.
something. It's pretty crazy. They showed a stat the other night. I can't remember what the stat was, but it's his save percentage, the high danger shots that he's stopping. And how many more save of the year candidates can this guy give out? It's like a game in, game out basis where we're getting one that we're like, hey, that's got to be save of the year. But you know what? I think this one's got to be save of the year. Yeah, since game one.
In game 1, he had a save of the year candidate, and he's still doing it half a season later.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. But I think you alluded to it earlier. He shouldn't have to make those saves, but you're happy he does. Those are the situations that you're like, oh, that would have been a goal, but he made the save he shouldn't have made. But I'll admit, at first I was not super sold on him, but I'm definitely very happy he's here. We have a goalie, the only, albeit for 2 years, maybe 3. That's my only issue is it's a very short-term solution. to a long-term problem we've had. So that's really kind of where I'm enjoying it now, but I know within 3 years, 4 maybe, we've got to have our replacement. So
live in the
but I'm
moment.
going to enjoy it.
Which we might.
My eyes! My eyes! I can't. I'm blind.
I got to tell you, Shorts guy. I'm gonna stop you there. The
Yeah.
second round pick that Brodeur picked, that goaltender,
He's
take
good.
over.
He's good. That kid, that USHL kid, I can't remember his last name. He's got a Russian last name, but he's supposed to be the real deal.
Yeah. But
Sam Wu doesn't trust him then.
Sam just came back and he just pointed at the camera, said something, but was completely muted.
Yeah,
so.
he muted himself.
He had to unmute himself. Yeah.
No, his
happened.
jacket was so bright it washed his voice out.
Yeah. It was reflecting off of the board lights, and it just blinded Sam Wu as well. Is it okay to cross the street, Sam Wu? Can I cross over here?
Chairman Sam.
Is it okay? Do I have to wait for you to walk out and put the stop sign up?
He's going to be directing traffic after the show, folks. Go on. Go on, Shorts guy.
Oh man, that's pretty much it. He's playing fantastic. This could play very well into Sam's prediction of 2025. He'll be directing traffic that night after the game, after we win the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
So just he'll be telling me where to go, just moving along.
Booking in around too. Like,
Cup coming this way, ladies and gentlemen.
I can see Sam in like Main Street, where in town he lives, like directing traffic and everything. And he spots like a Ranger jersey through like the car windshield, and it's just stop.
Stop.
Everyone else gets to go, and then Sam was just holding the one car right there.
Well, see what it
makes
is.
him pull over.
See what it is.
yeah. Step out of the car, please, sir.
Nobody knows this. Sam's just going to be directing the visiting team buses to just go around and around and around.
Yeah. Like, who is this guy?
And then he's going to show up late and disheveled.
Yeah. Look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament.
Just make sure you look frustrated, like George Costanza. Just, come on, let's go. Come on, And they'll be like, I just got to go this way. This will turn the bus,
Yeah. The hijinks have ensued. So, Shorts guy, I have a question for you because,
sure,
it's been awesome to watch it. Markstrom has been better than advertised for people that didn't really watch him when he was in Calgary or in the previous years. We got it. We knew who he was coming into this team.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, was it going to be our first choice? Maybe not. And it was also because of the age and how many years he had left. And I completely agree with what you were saying about what is going to happen in the next couple of years. Hopefully, like Sam pointed out, and I wish somebody in our chat, where's Max? Come on, Max, would find his name. The kid that we have in our not even our farm league yet. I don't even think he's definitely not in the AHL. He's not in the ECHL. I think he's in whatever he is at. But he's supposed to be the steal of the draft. This kid's supposed to be a really, really Yegorev. Maybe that's his last name. I can't remember.
Something like that.
But my question really, long-winded way to get to it is, Markstrom playing the way that he's playing, is it sustainable for the rest of the season and into the playoffs? I mean, having to make these incredible saves, is this something where if he's doing this, because he's not facing a super high volume of shots, right? He's not facing 30, 40 a night. He's not getting worked to death in those aspects, but having to do these ridiculous feats of nature, is this something that's
little recently on this road trip, we've been giving up a lot more shots. Defense has been a little bit more.
Defense has been a little bit shaky. Yes, yeah. But so the question is it sustainable for him to be able to bail them out, or is it going to have to? The defense is going to have to find their way again, and get their footing, and be able to be accountable. So he's not out there saving their ass every night.
Yeah, I mean it. You want the defense to be there and to not force him into making these saves, and eventually one or two are going to go in because you're not going to get them all. It's just the nature of the position. It's it's definitely looking like it's going to be, pretty sustainable.
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking at his stats from the last couple seasons. This season so far, 32 games. But in seasons past, he's played 48, 59, 63, 43, 43, 60, 60. So those are, going all the way back to 2017, 2018. Those are the games played in a season. Little Steve and I were at the game last night, sitting right behind Markstrom, kind of watching him and seeing what was there. It seems to be like he's not been able to really prove it in the playoffs. So he's got to find a way to do this body of work in the regular season, but then still have some gas left in the tank come playoff time, which is going to take the defense to make sure that they are not allowing these types of opportunities. Yeah. And to go back to those, 12 shots is, for a couple games in a row, that was pretty incredible defense.
7 games,
I wouldn't expect that. Yeah, I'm not going to expect that all the time, but we go back to letting up a moderate amount of shots. Like I think last night was, Scotty, correct me if I'm wrong, 20 in the mid-20s shots against for Jacob Markstrom last night.
I think so. Yeah.
If we keep it right around there, that's not a ton of that's not a lot of body of work. But you also have to look at all the off puck stuff, like the shots that don't get through, the shots that go wide. Him making his motions, moving around the crease. So we've got to keep that down as well to make sure we're not tiring him out too much. But I have a feeling that as an older player, we say that, and he's 34, he's younger than all of us. But as an older player, more veteran player, to this point in his career, he should know what he needs to be able to say, listen, I need to take a game off. Not that he's going to want to, I'm sure, but he's got a very good backup in Jake Allen.
Well, Jake Allen has been pretty snake bitten, pun intended. Sam.
He has been snake bitten.
He's been snake bitten recently, and I think he might be winless in the last 5 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think he's won.
Jake Allen.
I don't think he's won often, but that is something that Jake Allen's got to figure out, because that could put pressure on Markstrom to have to play perfect every single time, or to have to play more, a much larger volume of work. So that's something that Jake Allen's got to be able to figure out, and the organization's going to have to figure out too.
Okay, here's a question. I'm Scotty. I'm sorry, because this just popped in my head, and I want to get it out of my brain before I forget about it. Come trade deadline, if you're the Devils, would you make Allen available to a team, whoever, XYZ?
No.
And bring up Dawes as the backup?
No.
You keep Allen as the backup. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm not saying I want to. Just throwing an idea out there.
No, because we haven't.
Unless you're blown away, but I wouldn't be. Yeah.
We haven't really seen much of Dawes this season. That would be using an unproven goaltender, which we know that Jake Allen. I'm willing to say, had we gotten Jake Allen about 4 weeks earlier last year, we could have snuck into the playoffs. That's without a doubt in my mind. But you still know Jake Allen can do it. He just hasn't been able to do it recently, and sometimes that's just the way it goes, man. You do all your darndest.
Thank you, Tom.
And thanks, Tom. But again, Jake Allen's not getting a ton of starts. When Jake Allen got a lot of starts last year, he was really good. So I'm wondering if maybe he's unable to get into a groove because he's only playing every 2 weeks. One game every 2 weeks is tough to be able to come in cold like that.
Just real quick here to interject and follow up on Mr. Beer Baron's question over here. I'm not sure if it's Mikhail Yegorov or if it's Egorov. There's two different pronunciations here. It might be Egorov, but he is 6'5". Right now he's about $190. Catches with the left hand. Here's what Elite Prospects likes to say about him.
Ooh.
As a bigger goaltender, Egorov's approach is a simple one. He keeps his routes around the crease short, and he sets his feet quickly to give himself the best chance possible to track the puck. He seals the ice well when he drops into the butterfly and makes a lot of saves on quick developing opportunities by simply filling the space with his giant frame. That's the the synopsis of him from Elite Prospects. I can't get anything more else that I need to have the premium account. That's what they get for the freebie right there. So,
bonus.
Yeah.
Maybe Sam can stop buying these elaborate glow in the dark sweaters and chip in for the premium subscription.
Seriously.
6'5", 190. And Steven Engel, it's funny. He just put it into the chat right now as I was about to say the same thing. He needs to put a little bit more weight on the frame, but not too much weight. You don't want to be too heavy on those legs. I hope that Markstrom can hold up. I hope that Allen can kind of find his game again. I hope the defense kind of gets themselves sorted out. Outside of Allen playing lights out, Jack has been doing Jack, except for that overtime game against the Rags. I mean, listen, he's not perfect.
He had a bad giveaway in the Lightning game too, right?
No, he did not. Oh, in front of Markstrom. I was going to say that goal that Kucherov scored was not Jack's fault. Jack was chipped. There was a different referee. collusion. The referee blocking the pass or blocking the deflection into the zone, which happened to lead to a Kucherov breakaway. But whatever. We'll leave that.
Val says he is Igorov.
Thank you, Val.
Thanks.
Igorov. All right. So Slippy, Slappy, Samsonite. There you go. It's on the briefcase. But yeah, so outside of all that kind of stuff, the bottom six. There's been a lot of rumors circulating around New Jersey Devils and the possibility of a reunion that I've been waiting a whole week. Actually, 2 weeks because I wasn't on the show last week.
A whole week, huh?
Waiting 2 weeks. Waiting 2 weeks to talk to you boys about this. No, it feels like forever. What did you think I was going to say? Where do you think I was going with that? I was waiting to talk to you guys.
I've been waiting a whole week for this rumor, and it finally is here now.
And it finally came in the mail, and I should have held that like a. And I got one of those Dakota rings. Drink your Ovaltine, son of a bitch.
You Grant Marshall the podcast. Put the XL tag on it now.
But yeah, they could set it in the Christmas story. I'm pretty sure I could say it here. But yeah, so there's a rumor that's been floating around of a reunion of an ex-player, and I would love to hear your take on this. The possibilities of bringing back. No, Brady Tkachuk is still going to happen. Brady Tkachuk to the Devils is going to happen, but we'll see. We'll get to that one later, okay? But the reunion of one Taylor Jonathan Hall. I don't know if that's his middle name, but I just threw it in there because it felt like it fit. But Taylor Hall coming back to the New Jersey Devils at a discounted price of, league minimum. Would you guys do that? Would you take Taylor Hall back? Now, obviously, he's not the Taylor Hall who won the MVP with us, the Hart Trophy. He's not going to have the same kind of step in his game, if you will, but he still has that scoring touch, and he could still do it. So, would you take him back? And after you say all this, I have a proposal for you of somebody different, not named Brock Nelson, that Scotty brought up. All right, go on.
Okay.
And discuss.
Man, I don't know. It would really. My initial reaction would be no. Just from remembering some of the stories that kind of surrounded him when he was on the team, and Fitzgerald's mantra of no a-holes. I don't know. Maybe Taylor is a changed man now. But there were some rumors about some things happening behind the scenes. And,
we don't talk about that.
We won't get into that.
No, we don't.
So I don't know. Maybe he's a changed person now. Maybe really sees the because where is he? Chicago?
He's Chicago.
Right? Is he on the?
There's no.
Is he on Chicago right now? Is he on Blackhawks?
Chicago.
So yeah, I don't think they're going to make it this year. I don't know if this will be their year over there in Chicago. I don't know.
No,
but
no, I don't think
he'll
so.
He'll take a trade to anywhere, really.
Yeah.
But, Boston let him go as well. There's, I don't know. He might be more trouble than he's worth.
He's probably done. He's probably cooked. But I mean, it was a rumor that his name in more than one source and in more than one place.
What rumor are you talking about? What rumor are you talking about?
Nothing. How's that soda? That soda?
But
no. Did you know that never mind. So anyways, in multiple sources in multiple different places, I've seen his name pop up associated with the New Jersey Devils. So you know what? I just wanted to throw that out there. I know, Scotty, you're already saying no to it. I'm going to take a pass on it as well. And Shorts Guy, I want to hear your thoughts on this as well.
Yeah, it's not a thrilling idea to me. I was just about to look up what his contract status was. Looking up what he's done in 42 games so far with the Blackhawks, 8 goals, 14 assists for 22 points, minus 16. But how could you not be a minus?
Oh, he's a defensive liability, you say?
Wow, everything on the Blackhawks is defensive liability. I really want to look up the plus minus for the entire Chicago roster. He is playing 15 minutes a game, so he's 33. It would have to be at a highly discounted rate. But then the question would be, like, who do you give up to get him? Like, you're looking at, you're definitely going to be looking at, is he going to fit in? Is this something where he can come in and he's going to be motivated to win because he's getting older. He hasn't won yet. He could be one of the few from the. Does he care? He could be one of the few from the Edmonton crew that can win. And just in case anybody's wondering, there's one player on the Blackhawks roster that's a plus. One player,
and he's played one game.
No, he has played 41 games, and Taylor Hall is at the bottom of that plus minus with some of the most in the team. He's 5th from the bottom, so it would have to be a maybe for me, unless he's going to come in really motivated and just looking to do nothing but win. But it would have to be at a discounted rate, and it would have to be something where who would you give up? That's the question. Like, is this a trade you're getting picks, or you're just sending picks? Like what? I don't know if there's anyone on this team that I would give up 1-for-1 for Taylor Hall. And in fact, there is nobody on this team I would give up 1-for-1 for Taylor Hall.
No, nobody.
He would be a rental.
Not even Nate Batch.
No. I'm sorry. He has 1 year left on his contract. He has 24. Oh no. This is his last year. He's a UFA. He'd be a pure rental.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be motivation in that aspect of him being a rental and being a UFA next year.
Future considerations. Just give them future considerations.
FCs that everyone loves.
FCs.
I mean, with
take these FCs.
They would have to eat some of that contract. He's getting $6 million a year. Like, they have to eat a lot of that contract.
God.
So that
they were that desperate? Oh my God! Everyone's making $6 million a year. Oh my God.
He's a UFA next year, so they would have to eat quite a bit of that contract.
Yeah, like $5.5 million of that contract.
Yeah, pretty much. It would be,
if you're going to get a guy at that level, I'd rather go with a Brock Nelson type instead.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say no to that.
Brock Nelson is going to probably cost you a hell of a lot more than
from said a first
a couple of things that I was reading.
Apparently,
that's exactly what I was
first
say.
round.
Apparently, yep.
A first rounder? No way.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lou.
That's the rumor.
That's Lou.
Well, he can stand pat on that, but I don't think people are going to bite on that one.
But another former Devil who is a little bit of a defensive liability still in himself. Speaking of the Islanders, one Kyle Aloysius Palmieri. So, Kyle Palmieri, does that tickle your fancy in the slightest?
Nah.
Listen, he scored 30 goals last year. Yes, we'd rather have a center. He scored 30 goals last year. I'm just putting that out there that he could still score. I don't know what his current stats are, and I'm not going to look it up because I'm lazy. But I will say,
they're not good.
If you put him,
if you
put him on with Jack, Jesper, and Palmieri, I mean that wouldn't be a bad thing to have. Once
it's
again,
$5 million cap hit. He's $5 million.
What do you say no way for?
I would no. No, he would not be up with them. No. What's he got? 12 goals, 15 assists? Nah.
Yeah, that's another tough one.
No?
That's another.
Okay.
But again, that's another $5 million cap hit that you're gonna have to ask Lou to retain a bunch of that, and then you're gonna.
Jake Evans was the next one. I see a lot of people popping this in the comments. Wasted Youth Comics and action figures. Sounds like an awesome place to go. Said, I think Jake Evans. And then Evans from the Habs. That's what Tom said. Yeah, so that was the name that was thrown around there, too. He's young. He's got term. I don't know if the Habs are going to let him go, but he would be a really nice fit for that bottom six, for sure.
I mean, he is 28 years old. So, I gotta find his contract.
Let's see. I love when. By the way, in the YouTube chat and then in the Facebook chat that Sam looks at, you guys start throwing out some ideas, and we'll put them. We'll say it live.
He's 10 goals, 13 assists. He's a +7. So he's got this basically the same stats as Palmieri, except Palmieri is a -8, and he doesn't play center. And probably this guy would cost you a hell of a lot less. But that is if Anaheim. Wait, is he in? Where is he playing right now? Jake Evans? He's in Montreal.
He's a Hab. Montreal.
Yeah, he's a Hab.
Oh, I thought you said Avs.
No.
Habs.
No.
Okay.
No.
My bad. Oh, well then that's a team that's probably going to be moving some players. So
how far out of the standings are they?
Let me look.
I'm looking that up now, Scotty.
Sam Bennett. Oh,
you do have a phone too over there, Mister. You can look at these things.
Yeah, but I'm reading. I'm reading the comments right now.
I'm reading comments.
Montreal is 2 points out of a wild card spot right now. Montreal's 2 points out of a spot.
Stephen T just said Ryan McLeod. I don't know if the Devils really want to go in that direction only because of the history.
Yeah,
probably
the name alone
sensitive is subject. Go to Boston, wasted youth. Go to Boston and bring back Zaka. Why? So he can miss a wide open net and all of us scream his name. Nico Strum. That's an interesting one. Max, you shut your mouth with that. Brady ain't coming. Get over it. I will never get over it because you never know. Brady could chuck to the Devils. Could still happen. Alex
Reddit loves you for it.
Alex Tuck. Yeah, that's a good one. I like Alex Tuck.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Alex Tuck would be great for this team. He would be awesome for this team. How much?
Yeah.
I wonder what term he's got in his contract, though. Yeah, dude. It's here's the thing. Looking at the bottom six, Cotter was put in a couple of goals recently, so I'm not really worried about him. Nate Bastian. Yeah, I love Nate Bastian, but we got to start to get some production from these guys. We need to start. Tatar's got to start. These guys got to start scoring some goals. And here's another name that needs to start scoring some goals. And I don't even remember the last time he did. Is Timo Meier. Timo's been playing great and all, and he's been that line's been okay. I've seen they've cooled off a little bit, but Timo's got to start picking up the scoring because when was the last time he scored a goal? 10 games ago. He seems to be on a little bit of a drought too.
A goal that counted
a legal goal, yeah.
Because he was wildly snake bitten over there on the West Coast trip. Like he could not get the league to let him have a goal. It just seemed like they were taking goals away, and he's He's been
Tanev would be awesome.
Tanev would be great. He's been kind of screwy since that stupid penalty against in Carolina.
Voronkov from Columbus, says Max.
Columbus is still in a playoff. Well, they're all kind of bunched up there at the bottom. Columbus is the second wild card at 46 points. Then you got Ottawa 45. The Wings, the Canadiens, and the Penguins all at 44. The Rags at 42. Islanders 41. Flyers 41. Sabres 37. Maybe if the Pens drop, we can go steal Crosby or Malkin for the.
Alex.
Hey, Sid, we got a third line center position open there for you. If you want to come on by, win yourself another.
Yeah. Brandon Tanev. Yeah. I don't know. There's gonna be something. He has to do something, right? I mean, if the team continues at doing what they're doing, and there's little to no production from that bottom six, he has to. They have to. You would think that he's going to shake it up. And I mean, like going back to Timo though, I saw somebody say in the comments there, Timo's given up a lot of his offensive prowess to focusing more on defensive, playing with Nico. And as much as that's true, yeah, but I mean, he's still got to score. He's still got to. He's getting paid $8 million a year. I don't want him to start to fall. And I feel like he's kind of like escaped under because we're playing well. Like the Devils are winning. They're still in like a good. They're third in the East, second in the Metro. I think they're still in a position where people are like happy and not really focusing on specific players or specific things. Where he hasn't scored in a while.
You are right now.
If we were. Well, I am now because I'm just bringing it to the light of to your attention because clearly you don't care. Yeah, of course I'm talking about it right now because
I think Timo's been playing well and he's been getting a lot of really good opportunities. But yeah, he hasn't been able to just get it.
If we were losing, people would be freaking out. If we were like last season, people would be losing their minds over him.
I wouldn't say he's playing bad though. Like people have mentioned. He's been a lot better defensively, the responsibility there. And he's had a number of really good opportunities, but yeah, he just hasn't been able to finish recently. So we haven't really seen his game slip. It's just the puck is just not taking that bounce for him right now to get in the back of the net. So
that happens.
I have a feeling, Timo's always seems to be a little streaky. Once he gets one in, he's going to light it up for a little bit, and then he might have another lull. But if he's still playing responsibly defensively, he's not just turning the puck over. He's not just running like a madman out there and taking bad penalties. Like he drew. How many high stick penalties did he draw the past like 3 games? I feel like it was like 1 each game. So he is playing well. So that's why I wouldn't get too much onto Timo Meier. Me personally.
Yeah, it's going to happen for him. I mean, he got snake bitten on the West Coast trip big time, especially against, I think it was the Ducks. I think was the worst of it. Everyone was snake bitten against the Ducks. We just couldn't score. And then the same thing against, I think the Kings. We had some goals that should have scored, but he'll come back. I have no issues, and I'm curious what. And I really don't know how this is going to work with that almost 2 weeks off for the Four Nations face-off. If teams are allowed to practice during that time period, if it's like a time off for players to go on vacations. So, and I just kind of there's
that they're able to
6
make
games after that. There's 6 games after that, and we're still top in the league with games played at 45. The Bruins have played 45, and a couple teams have played 44. I'm curious how much of this is like schedule congestion and exhaustion at this point too, because this is that tough point of the season.
It's true.
So I'm curious if Fitzgerald is going to look at what we're doing going into that break and maybe use those last 6 games because we play Winnipeg on the 7th, which is the deadline. And I'm curious if maybe he's going to give it a game or 2 after that break, see how we come out of that without, before making a decision. I'm sure he's going to do his research just in case, but I mean, that could factor into it as well with the we're not going to play a ton of games in February. There's just not a lot there. So that could play a role in all this as well, because even before that Four Nations face-off, we're looking at 4 games. And we're looking at
Max,
3
I guess
afterwards.
I don't exist over here. Yeah, that's a great point. Max addressed something to the both of you. He was asking if Detroit. By the way, Detroit, I think, is one.
Way to
Detroit's
go, Max!
won
You
7
hurt
in
his
a row.
you hurt his feelings over here. Oh boy!
No, these feelings can't be hurt anymore by Max. He can only hurt me once, but it ended up being great because it ended up turning into the Yank Crew Brew, so that's okay. You bastard!
I mean, it's an interesting idea with Kane, but again, I think the Devils are looking for a center.
Yeah. Kane is interesting, but we'll see. During the Nations, the Four Nations tournament, I wonder if there's going to be a freeze on if you're allowed to make any moves or are allowed to do anything. And you brought up a great point about this, the team, like the congestion of the schedule and like just going into this, a long haul. Like they looked like they were exhausted coming back from that West Coast swing. When they played the Rangers, it was not. They had energy. They had jump in their step, and they went up 2-1 in that game. Let's not forget. But at the same time, that game didn't feel like the first 2 times they played the Rangers, where they just controlled the game the entire time. It felt like they let them hang around too long, and this is the problem with the last, I would say, 6 to 7 games, is they're not coming out with the same energy, and it's not like it's a rah-rah, get them motivated in the locker room type of thing. It's like these dudes are exhausted. Like they've played more games than everybody else, and in a shorter amount of time. So I agree. Maybe it is catching up to them, and that this break will be good for them to kind of rejuvenate and come back. But I will say this: I was talking to somebody yesterday about the Devils' little swoon right here, this little lull that they've had in the last 5-6 games. I'm like, at least it's happening now. If they're going to go through like the growing pains of the season where you're going to lose a bunch of games, you're going to lose like 4 games, you're going to be like, 3-7 in the last 10 or whatever the hell, at least you're doing it now at this point in the season, and you're not doing it late in March or you're not doing it in April. Like this is a good time of year to have a little bit of a lull. You can go into the trade deadline. You can start to figure it out. You can start to tinker with the team and really, fine tune it. And the coaching staff can also look at what their needs are and what they need to do for the rest of the season to avoid this kind of stuff. So get this little losing streak out of the way, those 4 games in a row. Hopefully that's the worst of any kind of losing streak we'll see in the season. And it gives them the opportunity to kind of grow from it. So that's my optimistic point of view on it, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Yeah, good. I just see, you understand that there's people just listening. If you're shaking your head, yes, like there's people that just listen. They're like driving their car and they're like, oh, the podcast died again. No, it's just, there's Scotty shaking his head, assuming that everybody's watching. Use words, my man. Use your voice.
Coming from the one that needs things in shapes and colors to understand it.
Sometimes that makes sense. What do you want from me?
Well, hey, I had to translate a couple things recently.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting with that Four Nations face-off. I'm a little worried about it because you're just concerned someone's going to get hurt during it. So yeah, I'm wondering what all the policies are for the teams. If you're there, you send someone and they end up getting hurt, are you allowed to start, GMing and start looking around,
Or LTI?
I mean, look who we're sending: Markstrom and Jack.
Yeah, that'll be another couple games for Markstrom in that tournament. So at that point, we're probably going to start seeing Jake Allen a little bit more in the either lead up to or in the immediate after, which we could potentially, maybe we'll see Poulter come up at some point. If Dawes is still hurt, we could potentially see Poulter be pulled up to kind of give Markstrom a rest. I think it's inevitable that they're going to have to rest Markstrom at some point going into March and April with the Four Nations face-off and everything. And I'm curious if I don't even know what the schedule looks like, because I just haven't had a chance to look it up for the Four Nations face-off, how congested that is, because the tournament is a congested style of play where you get a lot of games in a short period of time. And that's only, I think it's like a 13-day period of time. And you got to imagine that it's going to be a day or two at the end of it to where the players go back to their teams and they get to either have off or get back skating with their team. It's just, it's going to be interesting. And yeah, like you said, Scotty, like, are they going to be allowed to automatically GM if someone gets hurt? If a player gets hurt, are they automatically going back to their team? This is kind of what happens in soccer around the world. Is every couple of weeks you have an international break, and a lot of your top players go off and they play international friendlies, sometimes 2 to 3 games over the course of a week's time with their national teams, and players get hurt. And it's always one of those things where you have to manage the player and you have to manage their time. You may have to start bringing up Poulter or have him there to play a game or two. So we'll see what happens. And then Hall is hurt, so he's probably not playing.
Why would we want to sacrifice our games though for the friggin' Four Nations face-off? Why would we want to pull our best goaltender out so he can be rested for the Four Nations face-off?
Rested for us. No, rested for us. I don't care about him going to the Four Nations tournament. I'm thinking more so afterwards, for him, workload again, like him going up to Boston or Montreal and then having to play more games. Depending on if Sweden's going to start, we're assuming Sweden's going to play him in every single game.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an interesting question, because I don't know. Scotty just nodding. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And just silently
Ted
nodding.
Ted said he heard my nod, so there you go.
He did.
Cheers to you from this lovely Let's Go Devils podcast beer pint glass over here that was very nicely delivered to me from Shorts Guy. So
you obviously didn't read your text message. You did not read your text message from me. I said, don't show that because Beer Baron and Sam don't have theirs yet. That was supposed to be a surprise.
What the hell?
Well, there's that.
Whoa.
Now the cat's out of the bag.
Well,
that was an illusion. That was an illusion.
Oh, there we go.
By the marvelous Jacob Markstrom, another magic trick. And poof, it's just a regular glass now. See? Let me just tilt it that way so you can't see it.
You know what?
Whoops
You know what?
daisy.
You know what? You know what, Scotty? I lied. You should have opened it up with some gloves when you got it. All right? I lied.
As for the Four Nations, when it comes to the goaltenders, I wonder if they're going to ride one goaltender the entire time, or they're going to do one of those friendly tournament kind of things where they're like, all right, now it's so-and-so's turning goal, and now it's so-and-so's goal. I know, but I'm just saying, it's just, to me, I don't know. The whole situation is I get what they're trying to do. I get what the NHL is trying to do, and I get the whole trying to grow the game. But wouldn't it be kind of fun to do this, I don't know, in the summer? Or maybe do this post Stanley Cup? I know there's a lot of teams that won't want to do that because, after the season, after you just played 82, or if you made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, you played 82 plus, that you don't probably need or want to do something like that. But I mean, it's just putting a tournament in the middle of the season.
Well,
that's not like an All-Star break, where the All-Star break is a week. It's just I don't know.
That's what World Soccer had to figure out when it came to Saudi Arabia, or not Saudi, the Qatari World Cup being in December, in the middle of everybody's season except for MLS and a couple leagues and a couple other leagues around the world. The majority of the big leagues had to stop play for over for a couple weeks. I don't remember exactly how long they stopped play, but they at least, I think, through the first round robin rounds, every league stopped play. So, cramming something like this in, yeah, like you said, it's growing the game and all that stuff, but it's
At what cost?
So then the IIHF has to create a tournament that the players are going to care about that's not going to be conflicting with the major season, and turn it into something that means something like a World Cup.
Well,
players will run through a wall in soccer to play for their team in a World Cup.
Yeah, first of all, real quick, give a big shout out to Nate. Woo! Thank you for the super chat, and also happy early birthday tomorrow. Big Nate's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I did see that lacrosse fight, and it was insane. And that dude that got dropped kind of deserved it. So that's my point of view on that.
Lacrosse fight, huh?
But it's actually a really good fight.
Okay.
Do you remember when they did it was like I wish they would bring this one back. I don't know if it was similar to this, but it was like Team Europe, Team North America. It was like Connor McDavid's rookie season. No. It wasn't an All-Star. Was it an All-Star game?
I think it was.
Was that the All-Star game? Oh my God.
Yeah,
We're like Austin Matthews and like Team North America under 21 or something like that. It was crazy. Like, but it was broken up in that way. I forget. I thought that was this tournament that was whatever. Who cares? But the Worlds happen after the season, so
yeah, I wish they can do a tournament. Like every couple years where we can send like the best players,
like a legitimate World Cup.
Like something like every 4 years. Like that would be perfect.
God.
Like, right in the middle.
They have host countries. Host countries,
yeah,
right?
They have host countries, you know, and you can go and send people over like that, and they can play for their own country as well. You know, and then it's only every 4 years instead of every year, disrupting the schedule and making everything.
Too bad it doesn't exist,
I know, right? Like, someone should think of something.
Although
like
you're
that,
wrong about something.
Put it
you're
together.
Wrong about something. So they're doing it again the next Winter Olympics is what you're alluding to. They are bringing the NHL players back to the Winter Olympics starting the next Winter Olympics, from what I understand, and it does cause a disruption to the season, if you remember. It is a lot of fun. It happens once every 4 years. It is one of the greatest sporting moments. Unfortunately, the United States losing to Canada in the gold medal game, but that game was Zach Parise. I've never been so proud to see our team represented on Team USA as I was with Parise and Langenbrunner, and that was one of the most electrifying games ever, and it just sucked that from the corner shot that Crosby had, that was like Ryan Miller played lights out that whole Olympics.
He did very well.
Dude, we could talk about that. That Olympic run was one of my favorite non-Devils hockey watching event. I don't know how to put that, but that was just one of the most fun things to watch, and it was just heartbreaking when they lost. And you felt so bad for Ryan Miller. That dude played. Oh my God, did he play out of control? And that Canadian team was freaking stacked. I mean, the American team was good, but that Canadian team was freaking stacked. If you look at that lineup, it was crazy. But yeah, you know what? I get it. Trying to grow the game, trying to do these things, doing games over in Europe and stuff like that, where you're trying to grow the game, similar to what the NFL does. These are all wonderful things, but at what cost does it come? Hopefully, the Four Nations, it comes, it goes. Everybody has fun with it. I think it's a little kind of weird that it's only the Four Nations. It sucks, like the climate of the world. I'm not going to comment on politics and things like that, but if they had a team from Russia, that team would be scary as hell to face. So it's just we'll see. Just hope that, knock on wood, Markstrom and Jack and Jesper, all those guys go in, they have a good time, they come back and nothing happens, because God forbid.
Yeah, it would be great for a real good international tournament. We just got to put it together the right way, and you got players that are going to want to play too.
Oh, Art Heaton, they played the World Cup in September. Thank you. And which is a great time to do it. before the season starts, which, hey, you know what? You could lose a guy before the season starts, but at least, it's not mid-season.
Wasn't the first World Cup, though, in a lockout year, like the first big one? I feel like there was, one of the lockout years, there was a World Cup.
You know what? One thing that I'm also concerned about with this Four Nations thing is that they're gonna play like it's the All-Star game. They're not gonna be hitting. They're not gonna be going all out. There's probably not gonna be any defense. It's like
Brady Tkachuk's not gonna horse collar freaking Jack Hughes.
But I mean, that's what I would be expecting here. I don't see these guys like going all out for this, because why would they want to get hurt for the run to the Stanley Cup? Yeah. What do you get? This is like the NBA thing where they just have the wacky
NBA
floors.
Is dumb.
Yeah.
The NBA is trying to
move it after. That's what I would say is after the Stanley Cup, because once the Stanley Cup ends, you're like, no more hockey, But whoever goes to the Stanley Cup, I mean, just try not to don't pick from those two teams, Like, you can pick from anyone else. They'll be rested up and ready to go. And go ahead and play a tournament. Cool.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what happens with the World Championships at the end of the season. You see guys go and play for Team America.
Yeah.
Like last year, Luke Hughes went and played for Team USA. Was it last year or the year before?
You got to make that tournament more important and more. The word's escaping me right now. More prominent, so players will want to go. I mean, there's already tournaments, so make it more prominent so that they want to go, and maybe just do it every 2 years, do something like that.
And I have an idea, and I think this is something that we talked about a million years ago. But like, if you want to do something fun for the NHL, or if you want to add a little pizzazz and excitement, the bottom 4 teams at the end of the season, instead of doing a lottery and giving away, giving out the first overall pick to whatever team has the best odds in lottery and stuff like that, you have the bottom 4 teams play a mini series to determine, and whoever wins out in that little series between the bottom 4 gets the first overall pick. You could have it playing on off days. You could have it playing on off days of when they the Stanley Cup Finals, or you could have it playing on off days. How they have those gap days, especially during the finals. Mm-hmm. Like, you're like, oh, we play Monday, Wednesday, and then Saturday, and there's that huge gap. You could fill those gaps with more hockey, and it'd be exciting because they're playing for something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got to give more to the players to actually want to play well, because what do they care if they get the first overall pick and it's the kid couldn't pan out, or it's still going to be in another 4 or 5 years. Like Connor Bedard, this is his second season now, and Chicago is nowhere near touching the playoffs.
True.
So it's got to be a little bit more than just the first overall pick, because the guys that will be playing for it could potentially even just be off the team the next year because they're that bad.
Yeah, that's true too.
You know what I mean? It's like,
and this is point. This is a good point
behind door number 1. It's a new car.
Yeah. What'd you guys get? I got a broken leg and a Trailblazer from 1987.
I got a new washer dryer. Wow, this is great.
Yeah. Wow, look at me. I live in a condo, but that's okay. I know that is a really good counterpoint to that idea. But I mean, I'm just trying to think outside the box of how, or if you're going to do this tournament, you run it during that time. I don't know. It's just something like the 4 nation teams can only choose from the teams that are not in the playoffs. Right? I don't know.
I just imagine and bring out a Hyundai and it gets stuck on the ice or something like that.
And it's just spinning its wheels. Wee! And they're like, oh, Frank, get the Zamboni. You got to push that damn thing out of here again. And it's just some guy going, I'm stuck. Yeah. It's front wheel drive. I told you this, Mike.
I told you this wasn't going to work. Man, nobody listens to me.
Here you go, Beer Baron. I'm going to go really wild with your idea. I'm going to build off your idea. I just had this thought. I'm going to build off your idea. I'm going to make it even worse. So,
okay. Oh, good.
You take those bottom 4. you take those bottom 4 teams that are fighting for the first overall pick, and every single line on the team has to have a fan from that team playing on that line.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yep.
And there's Mike. Could not. Who cares what his last name is? And he's going in the corner, and he's dead. Yeah, that'd be.
Or you do the Sam Wu season ticket holder perk that he's been waiting for forever. Is coach the team for a day. So if you go into that tournament, whoever season ticket holder gets to coach the team through each game.
The loudest.
The coach,
the loudest keyboard warrior for every fan. The loudest keyboard warrior for every fan has to now take all of the line combinations he's proposed or she's proposed throughout the season and be like, here you go. Here are the line combinations you've proposed. Put them together and make the team win.
There's Coach Wu in his signature bright yellow canary jacket.
His strategy
green.
is
That's
to blind the other
green.
team. Yeah, safety green. That is true.
Yeah, it is safety
Even though
green.
it's like more of a yellow.
I know. I know.
After the game, Sam, instead of a puck, Sam throws those $1 off Wawa coupons that he keeps getting from going to Devil games.
They come down with the little
glass.
parachute. They come down with a little parachute.
People are throwing food at Sam for him to eat.
Or that's what you can entice the players with. $1 off Wawa sandwich right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's salad, not sandwich. That's what.
Right. Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Sandwich.
Oh man.
So as we tend to do as we get down to the very end of the show, or close to the end of the show, we get into our final thoughts segment. I kind of want to just I just want to have a moment to say that this team this season has been fantastic, right? So far, so good. Markstrom has been playing better than a lot of people could have expected. I don't know what's going to happen during the trade deadline, and it's almost one of those things where you don't want to break up things, but there's a bunch of guys on this team that really need to step it up. Whether it be Eric Holla, whether Bastion, whether it be Lazar, who's been in and out of the lineup, Lazar, Tatar, whatever. That bottom 6, hopefully we can start to see some more production. Timo Meier, we're paying attention, bud. We're paying attention.
He doesn't get a lot of power play time either, Timo.
I know, because he's on that P2. But
you don't get power plays anymore anyway.
No, that's
too. The team needs to just keep doing what they're doing. I believe in Sheldon Keefe. I believe in what they're doing, but at the same time, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen in the next couple of months. It's just been fun so far. The ride's been fun. Just keep it going.
I'm assuming that's your final thought.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I really was. That was like a half-assed final thought. Not gonna lie. I've been writing a paper for the last 2 days, and my brain is just is not really functioning correctly. So,
well, it's not shapes and colors. You're not used to.
No, it's not. It's actual words. It's actual academic words. Yeah,
you're painting the page with your vocabulary.
I am. I do amaze myself sometimes. I black out like Will Ferrell does in Old School, and I'll just start writing, and I look at it, and I'm like, whoa. That's
I did that.
Not that bad. Wow. I can't believe I didn't know I knew those words.
There you go.
There you go.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
I guess you.
I'll go next real quick. Last night was a lot of fun being there. Devils finally beat the Lightning, and just keep going and keep trying to win. Leading up to the trade deadline's still March 7th, so it's a long ways away.
Mm-hmm.
But Markstrom keep doing what he's doing, and at some point they're going to have to start managing his time. I'm going to say that. And I want to give a huge thank you. One of our listeners who, and I apologize, you told me who you are in the chat, and I completely lost it in my mind because I happened to set up last night. Gave Samu and I some shirts last night, so I want to say thank you. and chiming in the chat so I can remember, because it's just my memory is terrible sometimes. I appreciate you bringing us the shirts, and I appreciate you having to deal with Ranger and Islander fans all the time. So thank you much. But again, say something in the chat, because I completely spaced on remembering who you said you were in the chat. So I apologize for that, but I want to say thank you for the shirts last night at American Whiskey.
Rocking.
Hey, congratulations, Max. Congratulations, Max.
Way to
Just
be,
picked the
Max. All right.
And nobody know you could get married at a Wawa, but Max showed you any dream is possible.
You're like 5% there, Max. Like 5% there. 95% more to go. So
yeah.
Good luck, buddy, but congratulations. My final thought was Devils keep up the home winning. Yeah. We know this team has struggled with it. Yeah, we have been the road warriors for a couple years, I feel like. And it seems all of a sudden the Devils figured out how to win on that home ice. And boy, did they look a lot more comfortable out there playing against the Lightning than everybody else in those last 6 games on the road. So we can't go completely flat out there on the road. But I love seeing the home winning, giving the fans something to cheer about and come back to and pack the rock. And 6 games. I know we haven't had an actual 4-game winning streak, but we got 6 straight wins at home. So I'm gonna count that for right now until we get an actual 4-game winning streak. But excellent job, turning around the home woes, which were definitely there in the beginning of the season. And then real quick, I'll just mention it one more time. If anyone wants to donate and help out with all the wildfires and stuff, Red Cross and LAFD Foundation.org, I believe it is. I think it's .org for all the LA Fire Department. And Pasadena Animal Shelter. Too. They took in a lot of loose animals and pets that were displaced, and they're trying to find the owners and everything like that, but some of them don't have the chips, and so, and a lot of them were injured.
We'll talk to little Steve about that. That's right up his alley for wanting help there. So we'll mention that to little Steve.
Yeah, but they're doing a lot of good work over there at the Pasadena Animal Shelter. So just if you can, go for it. Any little bit, helps out. Keep the home winning up, boys.
Sam?
Canary Man?
Shorts guy, you got tricked.
I got tricked in the chat. I did.
You got duped.
I know. It was some Nigerian prince that was trying to give me money.
I've got this money for you.
I really got nothing to say.
Good. Your coach says it all.
I really have nothing to say other than
good.
I just want to thank Joshua Harris for not bulldozing Chinatown in Philadelphia, because they decided that we can't really afford this, so we'll just build a cheaper arena with the Flyers.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But that's the
Camden's
only
always available.
What's that?
Camden's always available.
Yeah, no, they said that they're going to tear down Wells Fargo Center and just build a new arena.
Hey, I see we
How
do
the hell
a
are
live
you going to
podcast.
do that? And then where are the Flyers going to play for a year? That doesn't even make sense.
Well, they're probably going to build in the parking lot and then tear it down.
I see we do a live podcast when they tear it down.
That'd be great. Actually,
there you go.
This is the wrong screen. At a football.
It's late. It's time for bed.
Yeah. Well, want to thank everybody tuning in, dropping the podcast at midnight. Till next time, let's go Devils.